ghost stories for you guys, okay?
Ooh.
And we're sitting here because I need you to look at this lovely intersection. So this intersection is the place of the first of two ghost stories I will tell you of, and the ghost story is called Short Jack. All right. Now, like Market Square, the name is not deceptive at all. Short Jack was very short. He was about 4'9". He had curly hair, a big bushy beard, and he had picked up a pretty nasty habit because he didn't have a job. In the early 1900s here, there wasn't a lot going on. There was a lot of unemployment around here, a lot of unemployed sailors who couldn't get jobs down at the docks, unfortunately. So Short Jack was one of those unemployed sailors. And his nasty habit that he picked up was going for long walks about this time of night with a big bottle of alcohol. And when he'd get about halfway through, he would just fall down and take a nap wherever he was. Now, he didn't care, where he was napping, and so if somebody walked by and noticed him, maybe he was in harm's way, they'd prop him up or roll him out and try to help him. Usually they let Short Jack. Well, this particular night, Jack decides to go for a walk when it's very foggy out. He's walking down the street here towards this intersection at Cameron Street. He is drinking his giant bottle of liquor and he is having a grand time. He's not bothering anybody, nobody's bothering him, plus he can't see anything, so all right. Well, he gets about halfway through, right here at this intersection. He falls down to take his nap. No one can see him. At the same time, there is a trolley coming down the street. I'm sure you all can see where the story is going. Yes. Now, this is early 1900s. We got a trolley with a track system, okay? And they're coming down the street. He's got his last load of passengers for the night. He's trying to get done. Well, when he gets here to this intersection, all of a sudden there's a loud thud. He stops the trolley and thinks to himself, oh no, I just ran over somebody's dog. This is going to be bad. Well, he gets out and walks around, and as he peers to the fog, there he sees Short Jack, or I should say Shorter Jack, because his head got chopped off by the trolley. Blood was everywhere. It was a terrible scene. It was not what he was expecting to find. Now, he composed himself enough to go and get an officer, the trolley driver does, and they come back to the scene and can clean up the lower half of the body and the liquor bottle, but they can't find the head anymore.
What?
So the next day, they come back to the scene to look for Jack's head, but they can't find it. It's not by the houses or the gutters or anywhere. So they tell each other, hey, you know what? Hopefully nobody will come across this gruesome thing and we'll just go back to our jobs like nothing happened, okay? And nobody did come across his head. A few days actually went by. But then some very naive young children were playing with a very hairy-looking ball just over there, kicking it around.
No! Oh, no!
Yeah, it was pretty gross. I don't think they knew what they were playing with because Short Jack was so hairy. They were kicking it around and having fun. But there were these two stray dogs. And these dogs, which open our next door, these two stray dogs are notorious for finding scraps of food wherever they can.
No!
They saw the kids kicking the ball. They ran up to the gate, grabbed the head, and took it away. And that head was never seen of again. Unfortunately for Short Jack, who had lost his head so suddenly that other night, has yet to find it. So on some nights, if you're walking around the streets of Alexandria, I hope you're not walking alone, because you might see a very short figure lumbering towards you. And if you do, I would make sure to get out of his way, because he might mistake your head for his. And that's true.
Oh no, that's like,
Or all of
no.
them, yes. Okay. Now I must segue, I haven't figured out how to do this perfectly yet, but into a restaurant that is no longer. And I will point it out to you as we walk up the street, the empty parking lot that is there now. If I forget to point it out to you, as I usually do 95% of the time, please quietly yell at me. I will point it out to you, okay? A loud, there you go, a loud, big whisper. All right, good, all right. Now, this restaurant was opened in the early 1900s, around the time of Short Jack. Short Jack might have eaten there, I don't know, but the restaurant was only open for 2 weeks, so it was probably a slim chance there. And it was only open for 2 weeks because random things kept happening, one after the other, in the back of the house. Maybe a worker's sleeve would catch on fire, or one guy would mess up a bunch of plates and some customers would get angry. Whatever it was, random things kept happening, one after the other, for 2 solid weeks. On Friday of the second week, the workers show up. They're weary from everything going on, but they're going to push on through. Because you know what? Despite all the things happening, the reviews were great. People wanted to eat there. It was actually a great place. It was one of the thriving businesses in town. So they're hoping maybe they'll just get over this opening slump, okay? Well, the workers show up, and the first strange thing that happened to them is that they could not get the fire to start. You know, these people are experienced. They can start a fire on the first try, all right? They know what they're doing. We're not talking about my husband who would probably die of hypothermia in the woods because he can't start a fire, all right? These people can start it on the first try. So it was very strange of them when they couldn't get it to start after 5, 6, 7, finally the 8th time they get that fire to go. It was weird, but they kept pushing on through. Well, not long after that, the whiskey barrels they had stored in the basement started to explode one after the other. When the workers get downstairs, they're a little disheartened because it's their big ticket item, and not having that to sell was going to hurt them that night, but they clean up the mess and then they trudge back upstairs to continue on. But when they get upstairs, that water they could not get to boil at first was actually getting so hot, it was overflowing and it scalded some of the workers. Well, by this time, many had been injured or just had it with all these things going on, so they left. But there were a few who were going to push on through to the end of the night. They were dead. And they were waiting until after lunch, because after lunch is when those 2 stray dogs would show up. They had befriended the workers over the weeks, and they would show up and get scraps of food. It was a happy moment for both of them. Well, there the workers are. They had gathered what they could in a tray, and they're standing by the doorway, and they see the dogs running up the street, so excited. And as soon as the dogs get to the threshold of the building, they stop. They look up at the workers with a terrified look in their face. They let out a loud squeal and they run back. They do not want to go near this building at all. Well, this is what thoroughly spooked the rest of the workers, and they went home. The head chef goes and tells the owner what had happened, that he was done. And now the owner was not surprised because of all the stuff that had gone on, but he owns the building, so he needs to go check it out himself to see if these are true. So he goes up the street to the building, and when he gets there, he gets the same feeling as those dogs. Sheer terror. He does not want to go inside, but again, he must. So when he steps inside, he gets a sour feeling in his stomach that something even worse is going to happen, and that he needs to get out of this building immediately. So he does, and he runs back to his house to wait to see if anything else is going to happen that day. And while he's waiting, he gets a knock at the door. When he answers, there's a gentleman standing there with a very concerned look on his face. And he doesn't have to ask the guy what's going on because he sees behind him the whole sky is bright red. The owner knows his building's on fire. So they run back together to the building to see if they can do something, but when they get there, the whole place is engulfed in flames and it is gone. Well, the next day, the fire marshal comes to investigate to see why this fire had started. Maybe it was negligence of the workers or something, but they couldn't find any reason for this fire to have started. Some people who were standing by and actually watched the whole thing transpire the day before said the entire building glowed like a bright red ember, and then it just burst into flames. And they think that happened because there's a family graveyard in the back corner of that lot, and they think that the graveyard is sending out a warning to the workers for 2 solid weeks. They just never got the message. And unfortunately, it had to go to the extremes. Well, this is what the owner believed, and this is what caused him to leave Alexandria and the restaurant business altogether. He was done. And that is why no building has been built on there ever since, except for the small little structure on there. Wouldn't be too bad if that building burned to the ground, because it's not a restaurant or anything like that. Now, you may or may not believe the story, as I said earlier, or any of the other ghost stories I tell you tonight, but I will tell you this. When I first took this tour, I was like you guys once, all right? I came with a friend of mine who's a nurse, so I hope she's not totally crazy. We're walking down the street here, my friend said, I smell a burning smell. I said, hey, I don't smell anything. She said, no, I definitely smell it. It's very, very strong. How could you not smell it? And I said, I don't smell it. But she was so adamant about it. Now, this is in September, and I just thought it's kind of a weird time of year to be smelling a burning smell, but whatever. So we get up the street, and we were at that parking lot. That's actually where we heard the story for the first time that night. And after we heard the story, my friend's like, I knew it. I knew it had to be something with the ghost story. And she believes that family graveyard is still sending out a warning today in the form of a burning smell to people to warn them to not disturb the site anymore. So as we walk by, sniff the air, all right? See if you smell that burning smell. They might be warning you tonight. All right, follow me, guys. We're going to go up one block.